Hi guys, Kim here. Welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video, I am going to talk about my fall container. Now, I already have it planted up, but I still want to take the opportunity to tell you about these gorgeous plants that I have in here. Now, I like to plant perennials in my fall containers along with annuals. And I still have a long growing season. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina, Zone 8. So this is the end of September, so I still have October and part of November before I still get a frost. Now last year I had an early frost the first part of November, and if I get an early frost again, if I wanted to, I can come cover it up. But most of these plants right now in my fall container are cold hardy. For instance, this Ms. America that I have is cold hardy, and so is this cabbage, and so are some of these pansies. So I bought some of these plants from Plant Delights Nursery. And you guys, me and my friend Dawn, which is my neighbor and she's in my videos a lot, we went on a little weekend girl trip and we were going to see 3 gardens. We only got to see 2 because it rained one day and we didn't expect it. It was actually supposed to rain here in Charlotte and not in Raleigh. It ended up raining in Raleigh and it didn't rain here. So it did a switcheroo. But anyways, we still got some retail therapy, which is fun. And so we went to Juniper Level Botanical Garden, and you guys, it was gorgeous. It was a private garden, and they only open up a couple times throughout the year. So I'll put the link for you to look and make sure. I have a whole video on it, and I'll actually put that video at the end of this video onto my end screen. But you guys, I went there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't know you can buy plants here. So I was like, we are in trouble. They had greenhouse after greenhouse after greenhouse. And after we did our little tour and after I videoed, then we went back and saw what kind of plants they have. I bought 20 plants, you guys, 20 plants. But they were plants that I would not ever really see in a regular nursery. And I couldn't resist. And I had to buy 20. Didn't really have to buy 20, but anyways, I'm giving all my secrets away. But some of the plants that I bought from Plants Delight is in there. Now this is their fall container, and all the plants that I do talk about perennial wise in here, you can actually go ahead and order on through Plant Delights if you like. But like I said, they had some really unusual stuff that you normally will not find. And if you like agaves, oh my goodness, like they had the most gorgeous agaves, and like they were bigger than me. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Now I don't feel like my garden like would do, like these plants will go good in my garden, like they will grow good in my garden, but I don't feel like my taste is this kind of taste. But now Helen down the road, her garden is very tropical looking. She's got palm trees and she's got yuccas. This, you guys, would look good in that type of garden. So I'm gonna have to make sure that I share those type of plants with her. But there was just lots and lots of gorgeous stuff in there, like baptisia, grasses, you name it, we have it. So anyways, like I said, I'm gonna talk about the plants that I have in here. Now, yesterday was 91 degrees. Yes, 91, like I don't know what happened. And this container is really well watered, so it's not a water issue, but I think they got a little bit of stress from the heat that we had. So anyways, but perennials, when you're buying a perennial, you are buying the root system, so just keep that in mind. So this might not look great in my container like right now, but when I plant it and it comes back up fresh next year in the springtime or in the summertime, they are gonna look gorgeous, I promise you. So let me turn the camera around and let's talk about some of these plants that I have in my fall container. Okay guys, so this lovely flower right here is an echinacea, which is also called a coneflower, but this one is called Fragrant Angel. And it's supposed to be fragrant, and it is. Like, it is really fragrant. It smells really, really good. Like, yeah, I'd never really smelt it even until I just said fragrant. Now, one good thing about these plants from the Plant Delight is that they talk about the origin, but the origin for this one is the US. So let me tell you about this coneflower. They say it's the best single white coneflower they've ever grown. It has giant 4 to 5 inch heads of pure white petals around a contrasting orange cone. And that it does. And this one's about ready to come out, so nice. And it's fragrant, and I just told you it was fragrant. It attracts hummingbirds and bumblebees, and it is clonally reproduced, each plant. So each plant is identical. So if you want to plant it in a uniform mass planting, you're going to get the exact same plant that you see right here. And I'm like, never really heard of that, but another girl from Hooked and Rooted, her name's Steph, she said that she planted some echinacea and they were all purple, but then after a while they started coming up as new like colors. So I thought that was interesting. So I guess they're trying to say with this plant that it is clonally reproduced, so it is identical. And you can put that in a uniform planting and it'll always be the same color. Pretty interesting, huh? I learned something, you learned something. Okay, so this plant right here looks a little bit wilty. Like I said, it was just a little bit stressed. But look how beautiful it is. Look how pretty. So this one is called, it's a Salvia, and it's called Smokey Jazz. It's a hybrid. It takes sun to part sun. This one gets 36 inches tall. Its zones are 7B to 9B, and of course it goes dormant in wintertime, and its origin is a hybrid. So they made it. So this one's a new plant. So this Salvia, Smokey Jazz, has been proven to be outstanding new Salvia Garantica hybrid in our trials. Unlike typical Salvia Garantica, which gallops in the garden, these hybrid has maintained a tight clumping habit. The sturdy black stems are topped with spikes of large purple flowers starting for us in late May, and for us is in Raleigh, North Carolina. So I'm pretty close to their zone. I'm zone 8. Raleigh is about 3 hours away from me. So like I said, 7B to 8 is about the same growing zone. But isn't it pretty? And I do love the black calyxy. So when you have a lot of green in the garden, like you wouldn't think that just the calyx on here would show like color, but it does. It does give you a lot of color when you have lots of green going on into your garden. So Salvia, Smokey Jazz. So this next plant that I'm going to talk about is new to me, and I never really even heard of a cast iron plant myself. I'm sure lots of you have, but I'm pretty new to gardening, but even in the last 6 to 8 years of gardening, I have never heard of a cast iron plant. But this one is pretty rare in a new version, so I'm pretty excited about it. And this is the name of it because, you know, I'm going to butcher that, so I'm just not even going to try. I'm just going to tell you that it's called Tokyo Skies Cast Iron Plant. So let me tell you about this beauty. Like, it is gorgeous. I love the leaf structure on it. Can you see? So anyways, this plant likes light shade to shade. Now, I'm in the fall, and this area right here doesn't get as much sun as it does in the summertime, so it's going to be okay being in here until I plant it into the garden a little bit later. But it likes light shade to shade. It grows in zones 8B to 10B, so I'm sorry guys that are in 8B and lower. I'm in 8 myself, so I'm gonna like kind of take a chance. But if it grows good in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is 3 hours away from me, it'll do good in this environment as well. It's evergreen, which I really like that too, because we always struggle with plants in the wintertime giving you enough green in the wintertime as well. So I like that it's evergreen. It gets 26 inches tall. It's a hybrid. It's a 2024 introduction of a fascinating new cast iron plant. So here you go, you guys. They've been trialing it since 2019. Its leaves are 26 inches long by 3.5 inches wide, and it's heavily spotted white. Completely unique color in cast iron plants. Everyone that sees this plant is sure to say, wow. Okay, so the next perennial, so this coneflower is a perennial, the salvia is a perennial, this cast iron is a perennial, and so is this fern right here. So This fern is called Pewter Lace, but it's also got like a big old long name there as well. So let me tell you about Pewter Lace. So this one is a Japanese painted fern. It takes part sun to light shade. The zones are 4A to 8B. It gets 12 inches tall, so you want to put it in the front of the border. Its origin is from Japan, of course, hence Japanese painted fern. And it gets to be 2 feet wide, deer-resistant clump composed of fronds of a nice pewtery silver color. It's highlighted by a dark central zone. So like the leaves right here, these fronds right here are going to be a nice pewtery silver, and then the middle part right here is going to be a real dark central zone. So don't really have its color yet, but I'm sure it will get its color. So those are the 4 perennials that I have in here. So now let me tell you about the annuals. So I forgot, I do have one more perennial in here, and this one is called Dolce Wildberry, right there. It's from Proven Winners, and this one takes sun to shade as well. It gets 10 to 14 inches tall, perennial heuchera, Dolce Wildberry. So let me tell you about this plant. All right, so the Dolce Wildberry corbels it stays short. It's hardies in zones 4 through 9, and it blooms early summer. I didn't even know a heuchera bloomed, but I guess it does. Yeah, they get little bitty spikes. It says, get a splash of purple in your garden. Large, scalloped, incredibly glossy leaves are a bold shape of purple. Charcoal veins accent the leaves, dark stems hold rosy pink calyxes and white flowers. So it thrives in part shade but will grow in full sun. Plant in a humus-rich, well-drained soil, trim back tattered foliage in early spring. So actually, these 2 plants would do really, really well together if I wanted to plant them together. Don't you think? It would be really pretty. So you got different colors, different textures. So if this one got to be like a pewtery silver, this has a little bit of purplish silver in it, these 2 plants would look gorgeous together, I believe. Okay, and the 2 pansies that I have in here, one is purple with a little bit of yellow center, and this one's white, blotched with the yellow center as well, with the purple blotched in the middle. But the white one is called Matrix White with Blotch, and it's a pansy right there. And then the purple one is called Matrix Purple Pansy. And actually, these, well, pansies says pansies violas. There you go. And the next plant over here is called Ms. America, and it's a kale. This plant did absolutely gorgeous for us last year. If I can find some pictures of this plant last year, which I believe I still have, I'll show you. But I had these in my containers in the back garden as well, in my concrete containers in my cottage garden. But however, these had really large spikes with yellow flowers too. And this was like pretty aggressive and got pretty tall. So this is going to be really a thriller in your container. Loved it. And then down here is an ornamental, and I think this is a cabbage, or it could be kale too. Like you would think this looks like kale. But this definitely does not look like a cabbage, but it could be ornamental kale too. But I couldn't find, I guess it did not have a tag to it. So, but anyways, you can find a lot of this stuff into your local nursery as well. Beautiful together, don't you think, with the purple in the middle there. All right, guys, so these are all the flowers there together. Now, I know this new flower head's going to be much prettier than this one. Like I said, it was 91 the other day, and everything just got a little bit scorched. My soil down there was fresh soil from Proven Winners, and it's watered really good because this one is an aquapot. So the soil has fresh water in it also, and like I said, it is an aquapot. You can see the reservoir right there. But look how gorgeous this cast iron plant is. It's just beautiful. This leaf right here is just stunning. And then, of course, the salvia is gorgeous. All of these different perennials are going to look gorgeous in my perennial garden, in my cottage garden, or on the side garden over there. It's just going to be lovely. And then, like I said, these things are going to fill out too with my pansies and the cabbage, and then the ornamental kale here, the Ms. America. It's just absolutely beautiful. So that's what everything's looking like right there. So like I said, I do like to put perennials, mix a few perennials in here as well. Sometimes just small shrubs or small trees can be beautiful too, and that can just carry you on all the way through winter. So there is my fall planting. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. So this is just part one of all the plants that I've got. I'm not going to talk about all 20 plants in one video, but I wanted to go ahead and just talk to you about this little bit of planting too. And like I said, I got most of these plants from Plant Delights, or all the perennials. I got the coneflower, the cast iron plant, and the salvia, and the Japanese painted fern, all from Plant Delights. Now, I was at the nursery, so I was lucky to be able to pick out my plants. But if you like any of these plants and they're in the fall catalog, you are more than welcome to order from this. I'll put the little link to up on the screen. And when you hit more, I'll put all the information down there below too. And at my end screen, if you're interested in any of these plants and you want to see them, how they performed into the garden, I'll put that garden up for you as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.